ready to flow, let's dive deep with PiSeas Tarot.
Your business is my business. I see every ache, every kiss, the push, the pull, the silent cries. I'm exposing all the lies, revealing the hidden truth. With me, you have the proof. Your business is my business. True. Welcome to PiSeas Tarot. True.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to PiSeas Tarot. I am your host. I am Mimi Lightseer, and you are tapped into a powerful edition of Tarot for Two. And let me advise you early on that this is going to be some dramatic talk show skit like never before. This is an insight-led, awareness-focused space that is designed to help you feel empowered, supported, and also to help you to inform your decisions. Over here, the truth rises to the surface and illusions are brought to the light. In this edition of this reading, y'all, I will examine the relational dynamics between you and your person, offering you the clarity, depth, and intention that your soul desires. Let's be very, very clear. You are here for understanding and not for comfort, okay? There is no sugarcoating in this space. And if you have been feeling vulnerable, uncertain, emotionally shut down, or caught in a connection that is not fully adding up, there is a message waiting for you. Now, let me remind you, your presence here is not accidental. So stay present, because what unfolds during this reading may give you the language that you have not been able to articulate but have felt. Utilizing my intuitive, psychic and tarot insight, I will unpack the emotional patterns, subconscious signals, and energetic themes that are shaping the connection between you and your person. Whether you are new at navigating love, questioning intentions, or standing at their crossroads, this space is designed to give you the context, perspective, and actionable clarity that you can use. Let me remind you, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates with you and leave what does not, okay? Now, with that being said, if you're ready to get into this reading, go ahead and hit those bells. All right, y'all. So if you're ready to tap in, let's get into it. But first, we're going to start out with doing our grounding, okay? And this is so very much so important. As we go forth in this very sensitive and spiritual space, we need to cleanse our energy to ensure that we remain grounded and protected and receptive. Most of y'all have been at work all day, right? Dealing with people and their funky craziness, okay? So let's go ahead and cleanse this energy and go into a quick, deep meditation before we get into this reading. Here we go. We're going to take in 3 deep breaths and hold it for 4 seconds and release, starting with inhaling clarity and exhaling distractions. Here we go. Inhale freedom and exhale that emotional weight. Lastly, inhale truth and exhale fear. Ooh. Baby, I don't know who this message is for, but I can promise you, I'm telling you with all of this in me, this is for somebody out there, all right? And just as a quick reminder, this space is a sacred space, but it can get raw and honest. Sometimes spirit will challenge you to get out of your comfort zone. So remember, this is simply awareness. This ain't punishment. So if you're ready to hear what spirit got cooking, go ahead and throw those cooking emojis in the chat. Cooking emojis, because baby, I am fired up and ready to go. Let's get it. Now, before I do any reading, I always take a minute to tap in with spirit to see what spirit has to offer me. And sometimes it's a message that comes through in the form of a vision, a color, or a feeling, or even a song that just won't leave my spirit. And today's spirit hit me with this. Now, check this out, y'all. Check this out. I'm literally minding my own business. So I know this has nothing to do with the price of tea in China, but let me give you some context. My son woke up sick in the middle of the night. So I had a rough night, delayed morning, you know, all of that. So I finally went to go take a shower, maybe like about an hour ago. And I started hearing TLC's song, Baby, 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 playing in my head. But then as I'm in the shower, all of a sudden out of nowhere, two songs pop in. Like, it's almost like the song just cut, okay? So the first song was TLC's Baby, Baby, Baby. The second song was a song that was very much so a one-hit wonder. A woman named Shay Jones, and she was a backup singer. I think this song came out around 97. It was called Talk Show, okay? But then as I started like processing, and I had to go look the song up because I hadn't heard it in a long time. Like it was one of those songs, they just played the video for it on BET. It never made it to radio, I don't think. But nevertheless, it was one of those, right? And then as I'm sitting here, y'all, guess what songs interrupts that one? "1998. There is a boy group out of Boston, Massachusetts. If you know who it is, go ahead and put it in chat at this time. But it is New Edition's song, If It Isn't Love, okay? And so I'm like, what in the world is going on in the emotional space, okay? So I'm hearing, I don't love her. I tried to tell myself, but you can see it in my eyes. So don't deny, I can't fool no one else. The truth is in the tears I cry. Because if it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? And if it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside if it isn't love. Okay. Now, y'all know Mercury retrograde is retrograding. So I can't even put up on the screen for you how I normally would illustrate the planetary or demonstrate the planetary alignments. So you got to trust me when I tell you this. I had to write it down because it was a lot going on. Okay. So it is Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Okay, check this out. We have a lot of 12th house energy going on right now. The sun, moon, Mercury, and Mars are all four. We have a stellium going on right now in Pisces energy, okay? Which means this is a lot of feminine energy going on, okay? I don't know if y'all knew that, but it's a lot of yin. Okay, the duality is yin, which represents feminine energy, okay? This is showing up for some of you in your dreams, your illustrations or illusions. I meant your intuition, you're sensitive to things, and you're feeling very retrospective. And howbeit, we are in the middle of Mercury retrograde, and that's how it happens. The Mercury being in retrograde, I don't care if it wasn't in Pisces. You typically are getting retrospective and starting to reflect upon some things, right? And you start seeing these exes coming back out the blue, and it's like, what? Where are you coming from? All right, so you got that going on. But to add the double whammy, the Mercury is retrograde right now in Pisces. So it amplifies this 12th house energy, okay? So for the collective, this is a very emotional, saturated energy, okay? It is showing up with people feeling more and that they cannot explain. So you just feel these ways. You don't know why, you just feeling it. Okay. And to this point, I'm gonna say, welcome to my world, because I do have a stellium in Pisces, but we're not talking about me. We're talking about you right now. Okay, boo. All right. So this is processing a lot of old emotions. This is a lot of grief and nostalgia showing up in your life right now. This is unresolved cycles. And this is also about you going into more of an intuitive space, but because this is foreign to you, you're not necessarily trusting it, okay? So this is showing up in real time for you in a way of emotional mood swings or fatigue. People, again, revisiting from the past, coming back, or you starting to second guess and second question yourself on decisions that have been made. You are extra sensitive in conversations and environments right now, okay? So what this is talking about is that the bandwidth for the collective right now is feeling very emotional and purely illogical right now. Okay, so you might be hearing people saying goofy things, I mean, just insanity. Okay, insanity. I got examples out the wazoo, but I'm not gonna go there. All right, so with this increased intuition that you may be experiencing right now, there's a lot of mixed signals going on as well. So it's a very confusing time. So while you may be feeling extra intuitive and extra lucky right now, you may also feel like things are just so distorted that you can't tell your left from your right. You don't know what's going on, okay? But this creates two parallel experiences. Some people are having this powerful insight and clarity right now, like they can go play the lottery and they can hit, okay? Other people are feeling extremely overwhelmed, avoidant, and or finding coping mechanisms to help them escape reality, okay? So, with that being said, you got to be careful, y'all, because you may be feeling the insight, the creative energy, and the healing energy. You may feel like you're glowing up before our eyes. And some of y'all may be feeling very confused, disillusioned, and needing to deal with escapism, okay? So I say all of this, and I felt like it was so important to lay the foundation about the convoluted energy that's going on right now, because someone is feeling like they are real life in real time in the middle of some talk show okay? And they are also like kind of like confused, like, if it isn't love, then what is it? And it could just be a friendly exchange of services, okay? So don't get it confused. Let's be clear about what that is. But I don't know where you are and how you feeling. Drop the emoji in the chat that reflects how you are feeling right now. Let me know down in the comment section. Tap in. Let me know what you're going through right now, because baby, I'm ready to get into this. And if this resonates with you, don't hold back, okay? Participate. Y'all can talk. I won't bite. All right? So let's get into this overall energy. Here we go. All right, y'all. So as we start to check the temperature of either you and your person, all right, we're going to get into this and figure this out. I got nothing but time because I got a sick kid on my hands, okay? So, divine white light, come through with clear and precise messaging for those who are here and those who will be here in the future. Thank you. Amen and I say. All right, y'all. So let's look at what is going on here. I hope what I gave you in the insight section made sense to you about why you may be feeling kind of like crazy right now. There's some crazy energy going on right now, okay? And that moon in Pisces has a lot to do with these crazy dreams and its emotions as well, all right? So, what is going on, Spirit? A married motive, okay? It may feel like for you at this time, things are coming up out of the clear blue darkness, okay? This is very, very important. Someone in this connection could have heavy earth placements or heavy fire placements. However, it feels like it seemingly has come out of the clear blue sky. Like this was dark, this was over. Again, those mixed feelings and emotions. If it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Okay, so it's like all of a sudden out of nowhere, this is making a resurgence. This is making a comeback. Now, all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like, bruh, what in the world is going on? And it's so shocking because just when you thought that this was over and done with, it's like, oh my gosh, okay? It's like it's making a comeback and you just like, okay, like this is weird.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
That's how you may be feeling right now, okay? So the truth that you may be reckoning with right now is adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So you may be overcoming emotional adversity right now. And it's a challenge because with in this season of confusion, in this season of all of this emotional energy, in which we're halfway through this retrograde, y'all. So we almost there. But it is in this season, is what I'm going to call it. There may be a lot of growth opportunity occurring for you emotionally, whether you see it or not. For me, being a Pisces with a stellium in Pisces, I really have been unbothered for the most part with this retrograde because I am in my native energy. My Mercury was in Pisces when I was born, right? So I'm not bothered by it, but for someone else, this could wreak havoc on you right now, right? But it's positive energy, okay? Guys of the hidden realms, what messages? You don't see it and it don't feel like it, but that's what it is. It's a positive movement because this is you closing out cycles right now, okay? And that's how this is showing up in this relationship that you're confused about. This relationship that came up out of nowhere. This old thing that you thought was dead and gone has made a resurrection, all right? So, all eyes are open. This is about inspired vision. Again, clarity, perception, and revelation, which is encapsulating everything that I just spoke to you guys earlier in the divine insight section about what is happening energetically. Okay. If you missed it, go back and listen to it. If you heard it and you want to listen to it again, go back and listen to it again. It will explain a lot to you. All right. So what is the general energy, Spirit? The search party just fell on the floor. Checking the mail, receipt, messages, responsibility, communication, and administrative tasks. So I told you guys, okay, that this is about communications coming up. There's going to be some receipts. There's going to be some evidence. There's going to be some actions that are going to be required of you at this time to help to combat and remediate some of this wildness that's going on. Again, you may be feeling like you need to reach out and talk to somebody right now, right? This person that is on your mind. So I don't know about you, but again, I'm definitely ready to tap into this. So if you feel this already, go ahead and drop those coffee cups in the chat if Spirit just read your situation without asking any questions, because I'm ready to get into it. All right, let's go. Now, as I start to identify the themes that are polarizing and basically are overtaking you right now, if you've never been here before, this might sound like this is a lot going on, but I promise you, stick with me and I'm going someplace. I'm about to identify the themes, the friction points, and the relational blind spots that are present between you and your person. I'm going to pull a bunch of cards and then I'm going to realign them with where I think the perspective energy is going to come from, okay? And remember, the energy can be reversed. So if I'm pulling one and you the other person, that's perfectly fine. Okay. I'm just telling a story or situational context. Okay. Now, what is going on with these people that are confused and feel like it's love and they don't know if it's love? They want you to come back. They don't know if they want to come back. Like, what is going on, Spirit? Break it down. All right, we got distance. See, I told you, somebody wants to come back. We got distance. You and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. All right, if y'all don't believe me, I'm gonna need y'all to start listening. Make sure the mic is turned on all the way up for you, because baby, you or your person is distant right now. So there is that distance that I've been talking about showing up right off the bat. What is the T, Spirit? You may also be going back at this time and reading old text messages, checking old emails as well. Like going back and like whatever happened with that, rehearsing, reliving, okay? Clout hungry, says anything, makes things up dramatic, okay? So somebody may feel like when this other person, whether this be you or your other person that we're talking about, may be feeling like, okay, this person coming back now in the midst of Mercury retrograde may feel like, okay, you just looking for a rise out of me, right? Things ended on a sour note and now it's like, okay, You just want a fuss. You know how some people just want to argue with you and you feel it coming and you just be like, bro, I'm not going there with you today because you're just trying to get me a rise out of me. You just want me to argue. You just want to fight. Okay. That's how they feel. But they might be actually sincere in their approach and how they're coming across to you. Okay. Remember what I said in the beginning. So if you miss it, I strongly encourage you to go back and to watch it from the beginning. Okay. Now, what is going on, Spirit? Graduation day, leveling up, lessons learned, acquired wisdom. Okay. This is what I mentioned earlier when we talked about the adversity and how this feels like this came out the dark. Okay. Growing up. Remember I said this is a completion of a cycle. This is you leveling up. So it may not feel right now like you have achieved anything, but I can promise you with clarity and surety, you have achieved a whole lot right now. Okay. Now, what is the vibe, Spirit? Y'all, why these two cards just fell out the back? We got toxic, drama, arguments, incompatible. Okay. So remember how I just said it may feel like they just want to get a rise out of you. We also got salty, bitter, angry, petty. Okay. So this is going back to like that negative energy that you may be feeling drawn to right now. But really, while it may feel negative, albeit it is at times, it is still a positive thing that this is happening because this is closing out that cycle, okay, with clarity and assurance. Now, when we look into the broken mirror, what do we see? Love affair. Okay, secrecy, third party hooks up, STDs. Part of the reason why you guys may have went left is because there was a third party involved, a lot of secrecy, and this person may have given you an STD. Okay, it's not implausible, so don't be acting like, ew. Okay. What is this a true flame? Is this a true flame, Spirit? Not toxic. Look, toxic cycle at the bottom. Y'all saw how those cards just flew out. Toxic cycle is here. You've run this loop so many times, it feels like fate, but it's just a pattern waiting to be broken. Then we talk about this. If it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? Okay, so y'all saw that card fell out like that, right? I guess I could have kept the card because toxic came out there too. Just reiterating. All right. All right. So according to this card, you guys make a dream team. You don't compete, you combine, and together you are a force to be reckoned with. So this is a positive situation. This could potentially be a twin flame situation, y'all. And I'm saying that because the last time I did a live, I was talking about the updates on the twin flame energy. So I am drawing that conclusion based on this toxic card coming out here, but also all of the other offerings that I've given you leading up to this moment right now. What is a true emotion, Spirit? It may be also a lot of people in your ear, a lot of people feeling like they have to be in your business. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that is because earlier, as I amplified for you earlier, one of the songs that came up in my head was that song Talk Show. And I keep hearing, he said, she said. Okay. I keep hearing that. So it could be other people in your business. All right. Somebody feels like they were left hanging, no closure, no contact, left on red. Okay. So again, going back to rereading those messages. All right. Like you never even responded. I poured my heart out to you and you didn't even throw me a middle finger. Like, what is up with that? All right. What lies beneath all of this, Spirit? I already know the tea. All right. I already knowing. Remember how I spoke very highly about intuition kicking in right now? It is showing up here. All right. So you're getting that download through your intuition. You're also getting that download from your dreams. This is why this energy is super confusing right now. Okay. It is super confusing. What is our soul really telling us right now, Spirit? What is our soul really experiencing and feeling right now? Confidence. Believe in your worth and your abilities. Okay, so this is encouraging you to be confident. Stand on business. Just because they're coming back, calling you, talking about, I don't love her. That's what I keep telling myself and all this other stuff. If it isn't love, I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know why this person's staying on my mind. Be confident in whatever your decision was. That your intuition is always going to guide you in the direction of where you need to go. And albeit you may be distant because that card came up. It may be a no contact situation. That was the right best thing for that particular time that needed to facilitate some of these decisions and forthcoming conversations that needed to be had at this point we're in right now. What else, Spirit? We almost there, y'all. Okay. Pay attention. You're being asked to pay extra close attention to the signs that you are being given, both subtle ones and those that cannot be missed. These signs will help you to best move forward in order to live your best life. So this goes back again to the intuition piece that I'm amplifying. I am lifting this concern that you may have been feeling these things, you may have been hearing it, not knowing what to do with it. And last but not least, Spirit, is this love or not? Does this person love this person for real or not? I really don't see you in a romantic way. Honey, I got to know who is really confused like this. Because I done told y'all it's confusing, but now y'all see how confusing is, okay? So, person A. I feel like person A has really put the brakes here on this situation. I feel like they're salty right now. Okay, they are bitter, they're angry, okay, a little bit of petty. Actually, I'm gonna move them down to person B. Yeah, person B. I definitely feel like person B is the individual that is leveling up, okay? They are learned their lessons. They are acquiring wisdom, okay? I definitely feel like they're the ones who put the distance here so that they can heal. They're being called right now to pay attention to what their intuition and what their spirit is saying, what their dreams are saying. Like they're being called right now to just focus. But I also feel like because they're angry and bitter, they're the ones like, I don't really see you like that. Okay. And they also feel like when this other person comes around, they're always clout chasing, okay? Now, person B, I'm going to tell you up front, they feel very toxic. Okay. They feel very, very toxic. This is that drama, okay, that we were talking about is showing up here for them. The arguments, the incompatibility, some of the things that they do is just craziness, right? Starting a fight and then don't want to respond. So there's no closure. They were left on red the last time. However, their intuition is equally talking to them. They're saying, I already know what's really going on, but they really don't know what's going on. They're the ones who had this love affair issue going on. Okay. So like person B distanced themselves for the right reasons, right? Person A just wasn't ready and they know that. Okay. But they also feel like this is a dream team. Like, listen, if you can just give me another chance, if you can just give me the opportunity to show myself and prove myself and demonstrate I'm a real man. Like if they can just get the opportunity to do these things, they will be confident in pursuing this relationship. But right now it's kind of like, they burnt that bridge. Okay. So I don't know about you, but let's look at whose business we finna get into. Go ahead and put those drums in the chat, drums in the chat, drums in the chat. Because baby, I'm about to pull this energy to find out who is person A and who is person B. Like who's got us involved in this talk show-ish. All right, here we go. Spirit, who is person A in all of this? Who is person A? Okay. And we have person B. Who is person B in all of this, Spirit? Who is person B? Okay. I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this reading that somebody in this connection may have heavy earth placements, and here it is. All right, so since person B flipped over, we're going to talk about person A and person B. Person A is coming through today as we have two earth signs, actually. We have person A is coming in. I told y'all this is some talk show-ish. Person A, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, remember I do my readings for Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. So if I have two people reflected here by earth signs, go ahead and put those earth signs in the chat. All right, person A, you are coming through as selfish, impatient, don't make decisions, don't do nothing quickly. Ooh, Spirit is in agreement. Y'all saw those balloons. You're coming through as indecisive, inability to focus, also a cheater. Okay, emphasis on cheater. All right, emphasis on cheater. A person about the town, and also having a lot of anxiety. Now, person B in all of this is also coming through as a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, with the emphasis of the Capricorn energy here. Okay, they're coming up as the devil. So y'all understand like how this energy is toxic to begin with, because we have a foundational energy here of a devil. This is you showing up as your shadow self. So this person B ain't always been them, but they ain't no angel. Okay, let me just tell you, they ain't no angel. They have attachment issues, addiction issues. They're very sexual, offer a lot of temptation, which is possibly like where that sexual energy came through. Remember I said the first song that I was listening to in my mind was TLC's Baby, Baby, Baby. And it was talking about sexual exchanges, okay? We also have destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity here. So everything that I have told you leading up to this moment is proven and factual in these cards. So, baby, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get into this business now. I'm trying to tell you, listen, I had to dust off my magnifying glasses because I knew that this was going to be some bull. So I don't know who this is for, but I know, baby, you involved in some talk show okay? And we gonna get into it. So I'm looking at you. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna judge, but I'm sure gonna tell you what I see. And then, baby, I'm gonna come on out. All right? So I'm ready to get into this. We about to get into somebody's business. Here we go. All right, so now that we have the foundational energy, we're going to look at what is going on, because person A is really confused. Person B is clear, but they just as confused. Like, my Lord, if it isn't love, why do both of y'all feel this way? Okay, like, we got to ask ourselves some real questions here. All right, so nuh-uh. Wait a minute, y'all. Wait. Where's the point in the song where he goes, maybe she'll take me back. Hey, girl, he's begging. I made a big mistake. Won't you forgive him, girl? Now I can feel it. He's never felt before. I really love her. You love her. What? Don't it all make sense now? Listen, honey, I give you my sympathy. Okay. All right, here we go. What is the present energy of person A? And I'm going to be honest, person A's energy feels very masculine and person B's energy feels very feminine, okay? So we're going to say he, she, all right? Just to keep the storyline clear, but it's up to you to decide where you fall, all right? I am LGBTQ positive, all right? So, person A, as I told you earlier in the beginning of this reading, they are coming in as the Fool card today, all right? Listen, when I tell you person A is going through a major transformation in their life, okay? As I said to you before, I'm going to say it again, okay? This is a major completion to a cycle that has been going on for quite some time. We are now getting the clarity. They are now being told where to go, what to do, how to do it, and how to get through. But because things have been so damaging before in the past in this connection, it's kind of like you're stuck trying to make a connection, but the dots ain't dotting. So with that being said, they are on a brand new journey. They're at the beginning of their spiritual journey, okay? Everything feels good. Everything seems good. Like they feel like they are in their native space of this beginning of this journey. The Fool card is not only major arcana, but it is the first card of the 3 buckets of major arcana, okay, when it comes to tarot. So this is the beginning of your journey, and it seems so peaceable. And so like when I tell you person A is feeling good right now, they are feeling very confident. Like I told you before, very confident. They're feeling very optimistic about coming forth and doing this. They just like, I already know where I need to be. I need to apologize. I need to course correct, and I need to try to make this right. Now, person B is coming in right now, living their best life with this 3 of blues, okay? Person B right now is out socializing, having a good time with their friends. Again, they're leveling up, okay? Person B is in this energy space of, I know who I am. I know what I offer. I know what I bring to the table, even though I hate that expression. But person B is like, listen now, I'm going to go out with my girls. I'm going to have a good time. You know, it's a lot of negativity in the world. It's a lot of heaviness in the world. I'm going to go out. I'm going to have my brunches. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have my my mimosas. I'm going out. It's Friday night. I'm feeling good. Like person B is living their life. Okay. They're living like nothing is happening. All right. They're happy and they're enjoying their perspective space. Okay. Now, with that being said, what is the emotional energy of person A. What emotions is person A feeling and they're trying to avoid, okay? What are the feelings that what are the emotions that person A is feeling, but they are trying to avoid right now? As I look up and it's 19:11 on the clock. That's the angels telling you to pay attention, okay? Now, person A is emotionally feeling like they are reflective. Again, that retrospective energy that we talked about, okay? They're also feeling like that nostalgia that we talked about. They're also like thinking back. When person A looks at their behavior and how they conducted themselves, they're definitely feeling ashamed of themselves. They are also feeling the burden of the embarrassment that they have offered. They know that they did not give you the best. They know that they did not put their best foot forward. And it is really unfortunate because it's like, how do you put somebody in this predicament where you mistreat them, you're unkind, you are very inhumane, if you will, right? How do you put someone in a predicament and now you want to feel sad about it? Now you want to feel the despair. Now you want to feel the grief. You brought all this on yourself, respectfully. You did. Okay. So you being caught up in this Mercury retrograde, and I envision that this is heavily, focused on a Virgo's energy, because the Virgos are definitely being impacted right now with this Mercury retrograde extremely. However, regardless, you person A have brought this on yourself, okay? Now, the feelings that they are trying to suppress, what are those feelings that this person, okay. They're trying, I really love her. You love her. What? Here it is with this 10 of Cups. Okay. This is why they're going to start trying to make this comeback. Okay. They know in their heart of hearts that they love you so much. They know that they've done the wrong thing. They know that they was just, if I am being so frank with you, they know absolutely emphatically that they have been a real jerk about this. And if I'm being super frank, they know that they have been a real pompous about this whole situation, okay? So make no mistake, person A is definitely feeling very scared right now about their feelings and emotions, because they don't feel like the type of person that would normally recognize and honor their feelings and emotions. So this is very frightening for them. Okay? That type of vibe, right? Now, person B, what are the emotions that, okay. So person B is also very emotional right now. They're being overtaken right now by their negative emotions with this World card in reverse, or the Wheel card in reverse, my apologies. They are feeling like there's a lot in this connection that was left undone. Okay? The door closed without warning, and it was kind of like, you know, I was not really expecting for things to end like this. They may have, person B, you may have thought you had this relationship in the bag, okay? And all of a sudden, things just kind of went left. And so instead of you holding on to this, well, let me rephrase. Instead of you really processing and owning that not everyone that comes into your life is your husband or your wife. They're not a spouse, right? People come into your life for reasons, seasons, or lifetimes. And it's, some people are just going to be casual friends, nothing more, nothing less, right? But this overwhelming feeling of incompleteness, right? Inadequateness. It's really, really heavy because you're lacking the closure that you personally need for you to be able to process like what really happened with this connection and for you to be able to move on. Okay. So this is why they're a little bit salty. This is why they're feeling a little bit bitter. This is why they're feeling angry and a little bit petty right now. And I'm not even going to say a little bit petty. It's a whole lot of pettiness. And this is why they're also trying to tell themselves that they don't see you in this romantic way. But what I want to point out to you is on this card, it says invisible. Okay. They may be verbalizing to you, person A, that they're not interested when you have this conversation, but while there is a coldness, okay, they salty, okay, and it all makes sense, but there is invisible feelings there for you in this particular reading, okay? Now, the emotions, okay, 3 cards. Y'all, listen to this. The Lovers came falling out. The Ace of Cups came falling out, and a Tower card in reverse came falling out. I can't make this up. Okay? You got 2 major arcanas here. What am I saying? Before I could even get the question, they were aggravated. Person B was heartbroken by the fact that you didn't really offer them the love and the commitment that you said that you were. They felt like you were breadcrumbing them. They felt like you were gaslighting them. They felt like, you really didn't give this the opportunity to really evolve and to mature. And they tried to hold on to this as best as they possibly could. However, we got to the point where they was just like, I just cannot continue to do this anymore. It got to the point where it was like, okay, it's time for me to just move on with my life because you don't honor me. You don't see me. You don't recognize me. You don't respect me. And now I got to just put on my big girl panties and move on. And that was the respectable thing to do at the time, given the circumstances of the relationship. Wow. So the question then becomes, what are the feelings that they are trying to suppress? What is the feeling? Y'all, I can't make this up. Okay. The World card came flying out, okay? And it flew face down. Now, why is this important? Because emotionally and feelings-wise, we have 2 major arcanas here. These are 2 conflicting energies right now, okay? Which is why this confusion is going on. That's why this imbalance going back and forth between, do I love them? Do I not? It is confusing. It is agonizing. It is surprising. It is frustrating. It is irritating. Okay? Because you cannot even express how you feel because you hear yourself and how crazy you sound when you even saying some of the when you even thinking some of the things that you thinking.
Keep that a secret.
So it is kind of cuckoo right now how you feeling. However, feeling wise, you're ready to put this behind you. You're ready for things to make sense. You're ready to get that closure. You're ready to get that completion. Like you're ready to stop feeling like you're caught up in the woes of this inadequate romance, if you will. Okay, like I'm trying to even articulate it because it's crazy as hell. Like, but it goes back to the energy that I mentioned earlier. Okay. So if you understand what I'm talking about, go ahead and put the emoji that best reflects your energy in a chat. Now, what is most favorable about what's going on here? All right. What's going on here? What is most favorable? Okay, so 2 cards just came flying out. Number 1, the Soul card in reverse, and number 2, the King of Jazz in reverse. All right, so what is happening here? Person A has come to the conclusion and the awareness after doing this deep soul searching, this deep retrospection that we talked about during this retrograde. They know that they didn't give their best performance. They know that they did not come to you fully available, equipped, ready, engaged. They were still dealing with some old things, okay? I.e. this third-party affair, all right? They still had some old flings in the way at the time that they met you, person B. And person A unfortunately, was not being forthcoming and honest about that. And that was part of the reason why there was so much disconnects and so much drama. Like you would see, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, like you know how you have conversations with your boo every day and y'all try to check in and you be like, how was your day? They would say something like, well, I told you I was going to do this. And you was like, huh? You didn't tell me none of that. They were getting confused because they were telling this other person things that they swore up and down they was telling you, i.e. the gaslighting, okay? They will make plans with you, but then they would come and cancel. Being flaky, being inconsistent, being inconsiderate, okay? But then always promising you something else. So they are acknowledging that they deceived you with this lack of vision. They understand that they came with you with a lot of secrets that needed to be exposed, and they were. It just wasn't in the way that you, person B, would have preferred to receive that information. So person A, you're not feeling good at all, recognizing that you had to do some shadow work during this time. You're also not feeling good knowing that your secrets are being exposed. Things are coming to the light, okay? And you're going to have to come clean. Okay, you're going to have to come clean. In order for you to make better sense of what is going on around you and to make better sense of your feelings and your thoughts and your emotions and all this other stuff that's going on right now, baby, you're going to have to come clean. Okay, you're going to have to start off, these are my confessions. Okay, just have that confidence. I wasn't ready before and now I am. Okay, and you're just gonna have to be honest. You might not feel good or secure about what it is that you're offering this person when you say what you need to say to them, but you need to say it.
What the fuck was that?
All right, so what's favorable about this situation? We got the Queen of Blues. Okay, what is favorable about all of this is that there is a lot of love. There is a lot of empathy and compassion, but it is like this heaviness that is coming with it. Okay. And when I use the word heaviness, I am not saying in a sense that this is dramatic or this is difficult. I'm saying heaviness as in the responsibility that comes with love and admiration. Okay. You guys are highly compatible. Obviously, we're talking about two earth signs. But what I want you to understand is that you have to be responsible with what you're doing with the people that you're doing it with. There is a earnest responsibility, and that the onus is on you, both of you, but specifically you, person A, because again, you're coming in as that masculine energy. The onus is on you to protect, provide, and to love the people that you actually care about. And while I am not going to beat and belabor at this dead horse, because at the time you didn't see that as such, but this is where this heaviness is coming from, because now the burden is on you to prove that you were telling the truth the first time around and that you meant what you said and you said what you meant and all of those other things like that. So it is really so much on you right now to be able to prove yourself. And if you don't prove yourself, then you're going to lose the person that you actually are caring about. Now, I know that's a lot. So how does that make you feel, knowing that you got to come clean, that you got to pour it all out? You got to just be honest. You got to be raw. You got to be vulnerable. You got to be forthcoming. You got to be all of these different things. Like, how does that make you feel? Now, what is problematic about this particular connection? It's what I just said, literally. With this 8 of Axes, this is you coming out. You having to own the fact that you are having a fresh and new perspective. Like, you're growing up. You know, Taurus season is coming up in a couple of months. So it possibly is the influence of knowing, you know, like you're getting older and that things are not going to continue to be the same as they have always been previously in the past. It is also the realization that the world can potentially end today. You know, do you want the world to come to an end and you wasn't with the person that you love and care about the most? Like, do you want that? And it's funny because the last couple of days I've been hearing Whitney Houston, if tomorrow was Judgment Day and I stand on the front line and I would say, you're coming with me, and then talk about how my love is your love, and Judgment Day and things like that. I've been hearing that a lot in my mind. And it's like, why am I hearing that song? Because that was my least favorite Whitney song. But the point is, if the world comes to an end today, how would you be would you even be satisfied with the life that you have been given? Are you even doing what you should be doing with the life that you have? Are you taking advantage of the time that you have? Like, we really need to start putting these things into perspective. And that is where you are, person A. This is what makes it hard. This is what makes it complicated, because you are trying to remove these barriers. You're trying to remove these obstacles. You're trying to stop being in denial and stop avoiding the fact that you have these feelings and emotions towards person B. But this self-imposed barrier is there because you kind of played them the first time, and the second time, and the third time. So I understand clearly why person B may not be fooling with you at all. I get it. Okay. Now, what is the soul lesson that Spirit is trying to teach you right now? You want to upside down, my friend. Okay. Spirit is telling you right now that you need to take a step back and to really think. Go and be introspective. Go and be retrospective. I know that this makes you feel like a fish out of water. Okay. I recognize that it is a lot for you to be able to have to essentially vomit up all these feelings, and you are truly going to drop the BOMB on somebody when you come forward out of nowhere with this information. But remember, as I told you, it's going to come out of the blue, and it's going to be like, well, where did that come from? And if you don't believe me, go back and listen to the beginning of this reading, because I said it. I promise you I said it. And if you heard me say it, go ahead and put the ear in the chat, because I know I said it. Okay. So be honest, person A. Are you recognizing that Spirit has taught you a lesson and is calling you to a higher place, a higher level playing field with this person? Are you hearing it, or are you just still trying to resist it? Okay. And I want you to really think about that and write it down, because what Spirit is saying is, for now, it feels like you upside down, but you're going to make things right. Okay. This is going to correct all of the negative feelings and emotions that you've been harboring for the past 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. Now, the question then becomes, what is it that you need to do to heal? Okay. What is it that you really need to release? We got some additional information here. We got the Wheel of Fortune that just fell out, followed by the King of Axes and the Two of Roots. Okay. So, as I just said, once it seems like you are in a bad position now, we feel like you hit a fish upside down, but this is going to course correct everything. Remember, I just said that. Once this information is done, you are going to not only complete that cycle that we've been talking about, but you're going to come forward. You're going to have the communication well thought out. You're going to have the apology well prepared. Like, there's going to be a rehearsal of what needs to happen, okay, and how you need to approach and to fix this situation. But what is also going to happen, which is not going to be as favorable, is once you put it all out there, this other person has the right to decide and choose, do they want to go back and play this song again, or do they want to listen to a new tune? And that's not going to make you feel very good, person A. That's not going to make you feel very good at all. Okay, because you're going to come through with this big shiny caboose. You're going to come through and just disrupt their whole life with this shenanigans. And then they're going to be looking at you like, what?
Oh God.
And you ain't going to like it. But you got to understand that they have every reason to effectively feel like that, because you have been leaving them high and dry. You left them salty, you left them bitter, you left them confused, you left them without any clarity, and now you want to come back and throw this on them and they supposed to jump for joy?
What?
It don't make sense. Okay? So you got to give them space and time to figure out and process their feelings and emotions. And as I have already explained to you, person A, they are confused about the lack of closure. They are like, I feel like a failure, but I'm ready to move on with my life. I'm ready to see things through. Like they are trying to process their own BS. So while it seems like they living their best life on the Instagram, they updating their Facebook statuses every 10 minutes with a bunch of mumbo jumbo, larbo harbo that don't nobody want to care about, okay? It could all be a decoy for how they're really truly feeling. And one thing I will tell you about these earth signs, you will never know what they're thinking and what they're feeling until they're ready to let it be a word vomit. And once it gets to that place of that situation, it's going to be a revelation of a lot of thoughts, feelings, and emotions and memories and all these things that you didn't even know that matter to them. They're going to just start confessing, okay? And it's just going to be like, this is so suspicious and this is so weird.
What?
It ain't gonna make sense, okay? I'm gonna tell you that right now. It ain't gonna make a lick of sense to you, person B, but to person A, it means something, okay? So what is the healing that needs to happen? What is it that they need to do to release? Well, we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, aka the 6 of Roots. So it's definitely going to feel like, because this delay is coming, okay, it's going to feel like, person A, you have made the best offer that you can possibly can. You came correct. You apologize. They're not willing to accept that right away. They may even hit you with the, oh, that's so cute. Aww. But again, that doesn't mean that you're at the end of this particular cycle. It just may feel like it's not going to be received. And what Spirit is telling you is that it's okay. Release that. You are not responsible for managing other people's perceptions. They can think and feel however they gonna think and feel, baby. I can promise you that. It's your responsibility to go into apologize and make it right. How they respond is totally up to them, because remember, they get to choose. They get to choose. Do they want to play this song again, or they want to go to something else? And it's their right to choose. We all have free will. Okay? So I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably not going to like it. I'm going to be honest with you. But I'm going to tell you right now, release that judgment that you're going to put on yourself when you feel like you're not getting what you need to get from them. Okay? Give them space and give them time to sort out their own okay? Now, what is Spirit calling you? How is Spirit asking for you to grow? In what areas is Spirit trying to challenge you to grow? Stop sitting around acting like it ain't nothing going on. Okay? Stop acting like you don't care. Stop acting like you're unbothered. That's the problem now. You've been walking around here acting like you're not in your fee-fees, acting like you just so untouched and unbothered, unscathed, okay? But you also got the World card here in this 5 of completion. So what is that telling me? You secretly want this person to come back. Both of y'all want to fix this and make it right. Both of you. Okay? Whether or not you are saying it and stating it, it doesn't even matter. Both of you guys are going through this healing process of what is going on now with this Piscean energy and this Mercury retrograde. But while you sit up here trying to act like you ain't bothered, Spirit is tearing that ass up. Okay? In your dreams that I talked about earlier, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, it is all here. It is all here. And this is also Taurus energy as well. Okay? Taurus and Virgo energy is here. So, Scorpio energy, I'm sorry. So, make sure that you're doing the best that you possibly can. But holding on to this sadness, missing them, doing all the things that you're doing, yeah, okay, that's great. but you got to go and make this right. And if you fail to delay, then you are doing all of this to yourself. And I want you to know that you have the power to fix this situation. Don't procrastinate, don't delay, don't hold back, don't do none of that stuff. Okay? Because already as is, it's already bad enough that you'll let this much time go by.
2,000 years later.
Spirit is saying, ain't nobody got time to be playing with you. If the world comes to an end tomorrow, did you apologize and let that person know how much you love and care about them? If the answer is no, then you got to do something different. All right. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Axes in reverse. Okay. So this is where this confusion is coming from at most, at best. Okay. It is definitely feeling like you don't have a clear indicator. Like it feels so chaotic. It feels so brutally confusing right now to you. Okay. Again, we've already talked about that, so we're able to make sense of why this is very conflicting for you. All right. So now that I've said this to you, let me know how you're feeling about this. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, does this make sense what I'm saying? Or if you got more questions about why this is happening now, let's go ahead and do these clarifiers and get to the bottom of this. All right, here we go. As we clarify this particular section of the reading, okay, this is where Spirit exposes what is hidden, the true motives, and the real intentions, and most of all, what are y'all trying to avoid, okay? So, all right, let's get to the bottom of it, okay? Spirit, reveal to us what has been hidden, the true motives, and the real intentions of what's going on. All right. So what was hidden from person B was the level of dishonesty. Okay. With this King of Cups in reverse. Matter of factly, transparently, wholeheartedly, openly, and admittedly, person A wanted to have a coldness and a moodiness. Well, let me rephrase. They were waiting for their ships to come in. Okay. They were waiting to see what other options were out there. They wanted to and chose to remain cold and emotionally distant, which is where some of the arguments and point of contention has come from. Person A, you always thought very highly of this person, but you didn't want to get too connected to this person. And that's where that moodiness was coming in, because it was like you liked them enough to hang out with them, but you weren't trying to spend a night with them. Like, it's like, okay, let me spend a couple hours with you, or I'm gonna go and do something else, or like I'm gonna connect with you in the middle of the day for a couple hours, get it out the way, so I can free up my nights to go be with whomever else that I really want to be with. Unfortunately, this plan did not work as anticipated, because they realized as they went through this endeavor, it wasn't nobody else out there. So this was a scheme that plot twist and flipped against them, okay? And that's what you cannot see, person B. Now, the true motives of what has been going on here, okay, is that this person has been up all night, all times of night, okay? Up, thinking, working on themselves, reflecting, trying to fix, trying to make sense of everything, like burning the candle. Like, what you also don't see about this situation is that person A may have been journaling a lot and or reading or listening to a lot of self-help books, but they've been doing the work, okay? Person A has been doing the work to try to get to the bottom of why are you like this? You know, and I mean, like, seriously, it has really caught person A off guard, person B, because they didn't realize until they saw you or saw something that may even alluded to the fact that you may be getting serious with somebody else.
Set.
But let's be honest, it really ain't even what they thought it was. You know, like they misinterpreted or misunderstood something. And whatever you had shared on the internet or whatever you have shared with your friends has been very misleading, okay, for them. However, they believed it, and it was enough to get them to get kicked back into gear, okay? Now, the real intentions. All right? Again, the Eight of Swords. All right? The real intentions was now they're awake. Now they understand that they were in denial, that they were resistant, that they refused, they gave away. You know, they put you, person B, in a real compromising situation because you had this blind loyalty and this blind trust. Like you went into this knowing that this was a person for you. This is why you're salty, person B, because you had no doubts in your mind that this was a connection that you were really interested in growing and you would thrive in this situation. Unfortunately, person B took away your power. Okay? I'm sorry, person A took away your power. And so with them basically emasculating you or castrating you for making your own decisions, that became an issue. Okay? And this is where this created this push-pull dynamic. So when we go back and we talk about the toxicity, the drama, the arguments, you know, the clout chasing, right? Doing anything just to get a response. This is where that energy is coming from, okay? Because it's a power dynamic of a push-pull feeling. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And it is exhausting, okay? It is so dramatic, it's not even funny, all right? So what are the real intentions here? So 2 cards just came flying out, all right? And I'm going to be honest with you. Person A going to take their time for however long they could take their time. This is not the first time that you've crossed their mind, person B, in this type of way. Person A has had this clarity and this understanding for quite some time. They saw this as being an obstacle. They saw this as being a challenge. They saw this as being something that was going to require some endurance and some perseverance. And at the time, they weren't ready to do this. Okay. So the intent was for them to come forward a long time ago and to admit these things to you. However, they decided to pull their energy back and to take their time and just try to avoid it, which is what I talked about in the beginning of this reading. This energy has been very avoidant because it's like I have all these feelings and emotions coming up that I can't make sense of it, okay? So the real intentions here is that person A is still trying to find a way to be manipulative in how they're going to come across, okay? They are still trying their best to come up with some type of scam, okay? Going back to this clout chasing, all right? Where they are likely, like I said, reading over these text messages, okay? They might, oh, let me tell you, this person here is super freaking petty, okay? Because they are going to go through these text messages. They are going to reread these text messages. And let's be clear. Remember, I told you person A is coming across as very masculine energy. One thing we know about males, men, or people with that masculine energy, they're going to read that message. They're going to read it over and over again before they respond. And even then, they may not even respond, right? What they are now doing at this juncture, again, to stir something up to get a response out of you, okay, to get that rise out of you that we were talking about earlier. What they're going to do is respond to an old text message, and they might even give you the thumbs up, okay, out of nowhere. And I'm telling you right now, it is going to be so jarring and so alarming because it has literally been months since you've heard from this person. So when you get that notification that they liked a message from you, it's going to be like,
What?
It's not going to make sense. Okay. It is going to be so senseless. And then I'm going to tell you this now, person B, because you are going to be so blindsided by this when it happens, you're going to be mortified that they have, or even I should say petrified, that they have responded. Because it's like, what? Where is this coming from? And why now? Like, I've been living my good life all this time. Like, what do you want and what do you want now?
What the this cannot be.
So this is the way that they are plotting and scheming still, instead of just standing up and saying, you know what? I had some time to think about it and I'm sorry. Okay. Someone's name may be Vanessa, or a middle name may be Vanessa, but I was seeing and hearing, you know, Vanessa, I'm sorry. You know, something to that effect. The name Vanessa may be very important to you, but nevertheless, it's going to come out of nowhere, okay? And it's not going to make sense what they're saying to you and how they're saying it to you and why they're saying it to you. It's just going to be blowing your mind. So again, going back to once they do something to like nudge you, to poke you, to get you to response, there is going to be a time where there's not going to be a response from person B, because person B is trying to process, and then they're thinking about this intently, like, what do I say? What do I do? Why does this matter? Do I want to go back and play this game? Okay. Do I want to go back and play this game? And I promise you, when they go and tell their friends, because they're going to go and tell their friends, girl, guess what? Michael texts me, and the name Michael may be important to you too. But Michael texts me, and out the blue gave me a thumbs up to that last argument where I told him I was done. And honestly, their friends are going to have something else to say. Remember, I told you I kept hearing, he say, she say. Okay. So it might be a lot of conversation, because remember, I told you the present energy of person B is a lot with their friends, being sociable, living their good life. So why does this matter, and why does this matter now? Because now is the opportunity. Now is the time. With this Sun card, person A is being guided and being protected. They have nothing but positive vibes coming for you. It's a lot of joy coming here. They are grounded. They are focused. Like when I tell you, like their intuition is kicking in like no other. Let me show you something. Stella. No. Sorry, y'all. So look here. Y'all see this? On this necklace, there is a fish. Okay, y'all see that? Y'all see that fish on there? What is the sign for Pisces? Fish. Intuition, okay? So they're very clear about why they're doing what they're doing. This is why this matters now. Sorry, y'all. So, they are definitely feeling like they're connected to spirit right now and being empowered to be able to come forward and to do what they need to do with this connection. This is why it matters now. And that was the Hermit card in reverse that we had before. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. Okay. Going back to person B will eventually get to the point to where they're open and receptive to having this conversation with you. They are going to be reflecting and analyzing everything. So it is super duper hypercritical. And I just noticed that as she's sitting here, there's a cup here. I never saw that before. Now it's a cup, locked up cup. Okay. So protecting her heart, protecting her feelings, protecting her emotions. But also at the same time, as she's sitting back and reflecting, she's also getting that clarity that she needs. Also, starting to think about that sexual energy that we talked about earlier with that song, Baby, Baby, Baby. And then also lastly, connecting in with positivity as well. So leaning in and having positive thinking and feelings, but also taking back her power. It's up to her to decide whether or not she wants to do this again. Okay? And it's not up to you, person A, to facilitate that. Okay? Now, the real question becomes, what are both of you avoiding? What are both parties avoiding? Both of y'all don't want to come forward and admit, okay, that, and again, there goes that journal and thinking, okay? Both of y'all gonna be holding back your feelings and your emotions, not really revealing what you're really thinking and how you're really thinking about it. Being very intentional, plotting, but not wanting to let the other person know, like not wanting to reveal and show your hand, okay? So be honest. I know that was a lot of talking I just did. Did you see this coming? Either one of you? Did you see it coming? Or are you still trying to avoid it and act like it's not happening or it's not real? All right. I want you to think about that and write it down and let me know in the chat. Okay. Now, if you're feeling emotional, go ahead and put the water sign in the chat. And if you're feeling hopeful, go ahead and drop those rainbows because I want to see what you're looking forward to. Okay. And if something just clicked, just say, I see it now. All right. I can see it now. So what is the final outcome? That's a good question. Let's get into that. Let's get it. So when we talk about potential final outcomes, I say potential because Spirit gives us free will, okay? Spirit can light up the path and say for you to go this way. And then guess what? You go that way, okay? So it's up to you to decide what you want for you. That's the beauty of choice in life because God gives us free will to make the decisions that we want to make and do. And then there will be consequences and repercussions, both positively and negatively. However, you get the right to choose your own adventure, okay? So with that being said, what is the potential final outcome for this situation, Spirit? All right. Once this connection is reestablished, okay, with this Six of Cups, the warm and the fuzzies are returning. Okay, the warm and the fuzzies will be returning. This is that nostalgia. So it is being initiated now with this Mercury retrograde, but it is that feeling, that old thing back. You know, that guy, that za, you know, that I don't even know how to like really articulate it. But once you guys get back in that routine of conversation, those feelings and emotions are going to come back to life out of nowhere. And I'm going to tell you right now, you better be careful with what y'all doing in the bedrooms, okay? Now, we also got the Eight of Swords here in reverse, okay? So what this tells me is that both of you are going to be free. Both of you guys are going to essentially bet on yourselves to be able to relieve yourselves of these negative feelings and emotions that you've been harboring throughout this time. Also giving yourselves permission to see and to try this again to see if this is going to work. We also got the Moon card here, which is very emotional, okay, with this Moon card. So this is going to get very overwhelming emotionally for you guys very early on. I'm gonna be honest with you. Somebody during your intimate moments, it might be so good that you feel like you can cry. So as I said before I pulled this card, make sure you be very careful about what you do in your intimate moments because I do foresee possibilities somebody getting pregnant, okay? Because things moving too smooth, too fast. Be careful, I'm warning you, all right? But also with this moon card, that speaks to the clarity and like the emotions that you need, okay? And this is well deserved, okay? Because this is also like good karma coming back, but you may also feel that immense anxiety behind it because you're having to relish and go on with the flow and not control it. And this is something that is going to be uncontrollable. So you may feel like it's going to be unseen drama coming up here and kind of unforeseen circumstances here. But really, this is nature's way of making you kind of like relish in this. Okay. And last but not least, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So listen, I'm trying to tell you right now, baby boys and baby girls, don't be surprised as you guys start to get back in the routine and cadence of being with one another and loving on each other. Don't be surprised if every little thing, every little wink that you may leave on, or somebody left on somebody's Instagram, or every like, hey boo, somebody left, or any type of comments that seems maybe flirtatious. Don't be surprised if that is jarring and triggering for you. Because with this Knight of Swords, that tells me that you're going to be very defensive and very protective about this energy that is coming up in your relationship right now, okay? And rightfully so, okay? Because ain't nobody got to this point to be losing out, okay? Ain't nobody trying to go there, all right? So I'm telling you right now, both of y'all going to be very, 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 very defensive about this particular relationship, okay?
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Ready to fight. Talking about knuck if you buck. It's happening, okay? Because we know Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy is very territorial, okay? And we already talked about person B being attached with addictive personality, okay? Codependency and toxicity. So this is where it's coming up, all right? And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Strength card. So over time, this is going to really change the way how you guys show up for each other. There will be an immense loyalty here, okay? There's going to be this extreme protection and just kindness here like no other. Like, y'all gonna be like the best of friends, okay? It's going to be a pure love that is so beautiful, okay? It's just getting to that point to where it's sustainable, all right? And y'all gonna be stuck with each other like glue, okay? So I'm letting you know now, get yourself together because it's coming. All right, so let me know down in the chat or in the comment section below, what surprised you today? Did anything hurt you but was helpful? Like, did it help you heal? Like, what was your takeaways from today's message? Okay, so with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to PiSeas Tarot and allow me to share space with you in your intimate moments. All right, again, I am Mimi Lightseer and this is PiSeas Tarot. Now, if something resonated with you today, go ahead and drop that heart in the chat and tell me what landed for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and to join the community. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, I am booking at PiSeasTarot.com. You can scan the QR code below or email me at the email address provided, lightseermimi@gmail.com. That is provided for you down in the description box below. All right. Now, remember, y'all, everybody is fighting a battle that you cannot see. These are some unprecedented, trying, stressful, excruciating times for people all over this globe. Remember to be kind, patient, and gentle with others as much as you are yourself. Remember, if the world ended today, right now, would you be satisfied with your performance? Would you be satisfied with how you showed up in the world? Like, would you be questioning or wanting to do anything different with your life? And if so, now is the time for you to do that. That said, how people treat you is not your business. but how you respond is. So make sure you leave a little bit of love everywhere you go, and I will see you next time. Bye. See ya.